Hi, Lauren. How are you?
I am so good. How are you?
I'm good too. And I just have a feeling you're going to be one of the nicest people I've ever talked to. You just like exude that, like you have that vibe about you. I hope I'm right.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope so too. I mean, I like to have a lot of fun on these interviews. I actually enjoy them. So
Good.
hopefully it'll be easy, painless for you.
I mean, usually that's how I plan them out. So I hope that's the case as well.
Absolutely.
So
Well,
I have a
thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, well, thank you for taking the time to do this. I always think that it's pretty cool. I do have a confession to make, so I'll tell you that I'm newer to pop music. I started here at Q92.9 about 2 years ago now, and I came from country music before that. So I knew pop music, but I didn't like know it. So your song "You Say" is a song that I knew, and every time I heard it, I thought it was Adele. And
Oh my God.
I hope that that's a compliment to you because I mean that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People always like, I think what it is, it's how raspy our voices are.
Yeah.
Because I have people ask me about this all the time. And I I always tell them, no, it is not an insult. It's definitely a compliment. I mean,
I
she's
figured.
beautiful. Her voice is incredible. She's been a statement for our generation. Um, and so yeah, I think I would definitely classify her as one of the greats for the music that has come out of, you know, our generation.
Yeah.
So anytime people compare me, I'm like, thank you. That is definitely a compliment. But I think what I think it is the that we both kind of have that husky
Yeah.
texture to our
Like the
voice, the
grit.
tone again.
I love it.
Yeah, the grit.
I knew it wasn't going to be an insult, but yeah, I just associated that with her. So I love that it's you. I love your music. And obviously fast forward now, because that song came out when? Was that 2015?
2018.
Okay. And here we are, I guess what,
Mm-hmm.
5 years later now, with your
5 years later.
yeah, your new single out that we are playing here on Q92.9, Thank God I Do, which is such a pretty song. And I'll be
Thank
playing
you.
it off of the Zoom. I'll be playing it for everyone, obviously, on the station to hear, but explain for everybody basically what the song is about.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for playing it. I am so grateful. Even as this is my 10th year of being in the industry, and it never gets old when a station says, "Hey, we're playing your song." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I am so grateful," because you can't take that kind of stuff for granted. So thank you, genuinely.
Yeah.
Um I so the story behind the song is I went through, as we all did, kind of the COVID time where everything was shut down, and I just walked through somewhat of a period of life I'd never walked through before, of questioning myself, having to relearn myself in so many ways. And um, during that process, I found myself full of anxiety. Like I felt like I lost pieces of myself that I didn't know where they had gone, and how did I get to this place, you know? And I think the time of isolation just magnified the time the questioning, if you will.
Yeah.
And so through that process, I found that I needed people to remind me of who I was. And I needed people to come around me and say, "You're going to get through this time. You're going to get through this time. You're going to get through this time." And so thank God I do. It's just a representation of the unity that I found, the genuine, like when your knees are on the floor and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what is going to change? That where's the breaking point where I can kind of leave this season? Like, when is it going to come?" And you have people around you that are saying, even in the fire, you will be okay. You will be okay. And that's kind of the genesis of the song. It's kind of where it all began.
It's a really good message too. And sometimes I feel like we lived in a time warp. And like at first, I'll admit, I was someone who enjoyed like lockdown, like lock me in my house,
Hmm.
tell me I have to spend extra time with my family because we're all so busy. And like
Yes.
I appreciated so much at first, like we were baking, everyone was making the breads and doing the things, and everything was on Zoom that wasn't before. And it was so cool. And then it was like, oh my gosh, how are we still
Yeah.
doing this years later?
Yeah.
But I just think overall it's a good, like that story is a good message. Like I have a daughter in college that's struggling to like pass bio. I'm like, you can do
Yeah.
it. You can do
Yes.
it.
1,000%. And I fully agree with you about the time, like that, it honestly, so the reckoning was me realizing how much time I had spent away from my family. It was kind of that moment of like, wow, for the past 10 years, this is what I've been missing out on. Because all of my family is still in the same place. They all still live in Louisiana. And I just, when I say I adore my family so much, it's probably a sickness at this point. I'm like, I love them so I could spend every second. I adore my family. And so there's just this period of realizing, wow, I miss so dearly these years that I've not had with them. And so fast forward, COVID happens, and to sit and get to make up, I don't really think we can make up for lost time, but I do think we get to refresh the next season.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to sit and know, wow, there's something beautiful that's coming ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, like baking the bread and having time together with people that you've missed and longed to be with for so long. It really, when I say remade me, like it genuinely remade me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super, super grateful. And your daughter, tell her you're going to be just fine. And the thing, this is what's so funny. People don't know this, but whenever so I went to LSU for 2 years before I dropped out and did music. And in that period of time when I was about to drop out, I didn't know at the time that that's what the next step was going to be. I was switching to become a biology major.
Oh, wow.
To go and I had two paths that I was going to pursue, but one of them was to be a doctor. And so I was about to change everything to biology.
Yeah.
To tell her, if I can do it, a singer that's from Louisiana, she can do it. She can do it. She can do it. Hang on.
You can. I was like, look, I got a C in broadcasting class freshman year and I still did okay.
Yes. Look at what you're doing now.
Here we are. Yeah.
Not too far away.
Yeah. So it's been a busy, I'd say, well, it's been a long, busy couple weeks, busy couple days. Today, especially a big day, because not only is the song already out, but the music video is coming out. You're probably checking your watch like very soon.
Yes, it will be out. I think it comes out noon central.
Yeah.
I think.
2 o'clock my time, I think is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am so excited. We filmed it with like this crew that I'd actually worked with before on a music video that we did for Trombone Shorty down in New Orleans. And so I was walking around, they were setting everything up. They spent so much time like decorating this space. You'll see why. There's flowers everywhere. And because of that, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. And they were like, Lauren. And I was like, wait a second, I know you guys. So it was really, there's just a lot of camaraderie on the shoot. And I typically, whenever you finish those shoots, you end and you're like, I am wiped. I have nothing else to give. I finished and I looked at everybody and was like, y'all, how do I have so much energy? That was so life-giving. So
yeah.
That's what I hope everybody receives from watching the video.
Well, I know I wanted to ask about the colors and the flowers, because you see it. I'm going to do like a Jimmy Fallon when he pulls out the vinyl, like, here's one of the pictures that, you know, we have like all the colors. So tell me, like the colors, the flowers, that's the vibe.
Absolutely. I grew up, you know, okay, so Louisiana is such a vibrant place. Like we celebrate, I didn't realize until I left that we kind of celebrate everything. So fun story. One time we were leaving an LSU game. I had my manager with me and we were driving. We had to drive across this super long bridge. Louisiana is known. We actually had the longest bridge in the entire world until China just came and built another one that is a little bit longer. But the longest bridge in the world because of how much water we have in Louisiana. So in the lower part of the state. So we're driving and there is a wreck on the bridge. Well, there's no exit. The bridge is like 19 miles long. And we're like, all right, well, we are on this bridge. Like we're stuck. This is what it is. And people pull out their barbecue pits, start cooking on the bridge. And there was this party bus in front of us that cranked the music like a Sprinter van kind of thing, cranked the music. And we all started doing line dances at 2 o'clock in the morning while we were just sitting on the bridge waiting.
Wow.
And that is the essence of our culture. Like we celebrate everything. There's just life around every corner. And it's almost like you're living in some sort of musical or something like La La Land. It's like they had to derive that from Louisiana. No, I'm kidding. But it's just, there's so much vibrancy to the culture. And I wanted to be able to express that in the clothing, in the color, in the textiles, in the expression even of the record as a whole. I just wanted that sense of whimsy to be communicated through all of the color.
Oh, I love that. I've never been to Louisiana or New Orleans. It's on my bucket list.
Come,
Yeah,
come.
that sounds like my
Some
vibe.
people, it is like I would say it is a love-hate relationship. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
It's one of those places. But it's so unique in the sense of there's a lot, like New Orleans specifically. It's very European. It's still very European. It's not, we are still part of the French colonization versus the British. And so you can really feel that essence when you're down there. But if you dive into the music and if you dive into the food, you're gonna have a great time.
I'm in. I am so in.
Yes.
I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so I do want to talk about the album real quick.
Yeah.
This is just thank God I do is just the first taste of what's to come next month, but you're only giving us half. I know that.
Yes. We have a whole other record coming. So basically how it worked is I kept getting this idea, songs for the soul, songs for the spirit, songs for the soul, songs for the spirit. And over and over and over again, when I was writing, I was like, this concept just kept coming to mind. And one day I was in a meeting with my manager and she said, well, of the songs that you've written, and at that point we'd written like 30 something songs, but I knew about 14 of them that were going to be on the record. And she said, break them down. Like, what would you consider the songs for the soul? What would you consider the songs for the spirit? Like those two sides. And when I did, I realized, oh, there's 7 and 7. It was even. And I wasn't even thinking in the writing room. I wasn't even thinking in that context. And so I was just writing like what was coming out of me. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, I want to make this a double album. And so the label was super gracious and they're like, yeah, let's do it. So we ended up doing a double record. So the first part is going to come out in May, and then the next part will come out in the later portion of the year. And this might be the most proud I've ever been of a project. I am so, so excited.
That's awesome. I'm excited too, because this is just the kind of music that we all need, that we can all appreciate together. So thank you for putting out an album like that.
Oh, thank you so, so much. You're going to get a litany of songs. Like the amount of music, it's like there's songs of hope, there's songs about love, there's songs about the world, there's songs that you can dance to, there's songs that has groove. It's just, there's an amalgamation. It's just a lot of me on a record. And so I'm super, super grateful. Mike Elizondo was my producer, and he was so, I feel like I have found a true champion in that person. He understands artists. He understands the way that the environment needs to be for the best art to come forward. And so I appreciate and applaud the process that he allowed me to go through to get these songs out into the world.
Aw. Well, yay.
Yeah.
I know we can't wait to hear it. Again, we'll keep playing Thank God I Do until we get more songs from you. And
Thank
then
you.
the album, and I hope you come to Pittsburgh. I know we're not on your tour list, but I hope to see you here. I'd love to meet you in person.
Oh, I have amazing memories in Pittsburgh. I have great memories in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
One of the first times I ever wrote for the Christmas record was in Pittsburgh. So dear memories there. And yeah, we're going to probably make a stop. If
Good.
it's not this portion, it'll be the next.
That's fine. Yeah. A lot of bridges here too. A lot of colors. We love yellow here.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I will see you on Instagram and then hopefully see you in person soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Erika. Thanks for
you. I
having
appreciate
me.
yours too, Lauren. Take care.